In this video, we're going to look at some of the options for formatting content for mobile mode, specifically to do with the drag and drop in content box editors. There are some options there, and we'll just go through them. There is also in the editor a new ability to change your editor size to show how it will look in mobile as a preview mode. And we will also use this as part of editing our content because it gives a quick way of seeing changes happen without actually having a mobile phone in front of you. But first, I'm just going to quickly overview the entire site in mobile mode. And the way that you can quickly do this in preview mode is to right-click and just go inspect, which then provides some parameters that we don't really need to look at. We can resize the window and we can snap it into mobile mode like that. Or we can click a mobile mode option, which then drops it into a preview format here. This gives a quick look at the entire website and all the spacing and issues with banners and so on and so forth. So now we can take this content, modify it in the CMS. So let's see how we can do that. So there are a couple of places that you can modify content specifically for mobile. If you're using Content Box, you have the ability to affect sections via the mobile settings area. And there is a mobile section here. If you're not in advanced mode and you've kind of got the cut down editor, you won't see that. So I'll just click here. There's no advanced options here to make it a bit simpler. So we'll just enable the advanced options with the lightning bolt. We'll go to mobile. If I just jump back to the preview website, something that can happen with the content is by having margins at the top. As you can see here, it's quite nice to have the margins, but on mobile it looks a little bit gappy. So we can reduce these margins. Mobile vertical margin, let's just make it 20 pixels. And we won't see it in this editor mode, but if we were to change to mobile, you can see it's reduced that gap. Save that. And if I refresh that page, you'll see that we've removed our spacing there. We also have the ability to change the height of sections if we want to. So I will scroll down and I want to make this section full width on full height rather on mobile. So we'll go back to that section. I'm now in the mobile version. It might pay to switch back to desktop, but I'll stay in mobile for the moment. So we'll go there and we'll make the mobile height 100%. Save those changes. Okay, so we'll have a look now and see what that section looks like on mobile. So there it is. We've made that section full width, but if we then stretch it back out, it'll snap back to its original height, like so. You can also do the same in the drag and drop or content editor for rows and columns. And we can do this via the red spanner icon that appears in a section. So you can see these red spanners here. This will apply effects to the row, and this will apply effects to each individual column. So let's go quickly back and have a look. See what we can do. So for example, our headings are left aligned here, but on mobile we might want to center our content. So I will go to the row settings, and you'll see here we have a mobile classes section. And there is a section where you can affect the content, font sizes, scaling, and columns. In this case, we're going to force text to align center. So we'll save the change. As you can see, in desktop we can't see it at the moment, but if we change to the mobile editor, you'll see now that the text is centered. We can also do some other things like change this to 2 column rather than being just 1 column across. And to do that, we can edit each column. I'll make this column width 50%, and we'll also give it a little bit of padding on its right. Do the same with this column. Make this 50%, apply padding to the left, just to give it a bit of space. Just refresh our preview here. You'll see now that we have overridden the default 1 column effect and set it to 2 column. So the other thing that we might want to affect is our banner area. We've got a caption here and it is way too big. On desktop we're showing everything, but when we get to mobile the text is not changing. So we'll see what we can do to affect that. In this case the text is an overlay with a slight background transparency on it. Go down to the overlay area. So here's our content. We need to reduce this text down. Let's see what we can do. So we'll go to either the row or the column. In this case, we'll just go to the row settings. There's only 1 column in here. So there's a couple of different options or different approaches to this. One is that we can try and force the text to conform to a specific size. We've got a big font here and a small font. We can use our mobile font size to blanket force the size to a text that will fit. These rules are generally pretty broad because we're not editing content specifically in a mobile mode. We're just applying some classes that will be triggered. So they're not specific to specific pieces of text, but to the whole column. So it will set the font size to a specific size, all elements found within it. The other option is to try and scale the content down, which will maintain the different proportions and just reduce it. This has its own challenges. We'll do font size 8. Apply that. You can see now it's reduced the font size. It's a little bit gappy in between. So we'll see what mobile classes there are there to address that. We're going to force minimum margins, and I'm going to force line height. Let's apply that. You see now it's dropped the size. I'll do a quick preview here. So there we go. We've applied some classes to make the text a lot more presentable in mobile. So it will always depend on your specific requirements and a specific amount of text, but hopefully these tools will help ensure that the text becomes more readable and better looking on mobile.